Well, welcome to Just Start with Jane. And I'm so pleased to have with me these two high-performing leaders. Everywhere we go, we meet high-performing leaders that shine above all others when it comes to making great change happen in their organizations. And these guys are no exception. So they're early adopters when it comes to putting change efforts in place. And essentially, they take our ideas, our solutions at Capstone Leadership and make it their own, but make it way better. We call it the CASE method. And these guys have totally done it. And I'm deeply honored that Dr. Michael Smith, who is the Director of Rehab and Physical Therapy Services at Marlette Regional Hospital, the heart of the thumb, and Shelley, I should have asked you how to pronounce your last name, Grishaw, yeah. Close. Who is the nursing leader, the hospice leader for their inpatient hospice department. And thank you so much, you guys, for spending time with me. I really, really appreciate it. So what we're going to talk to these guys about today is really how they took the unique concept of an employee-driven team, assigning a goal to the employee-driven team, but most importantly, how it's so way cool that their team has really evolved. The best part about it is, for those of you who have followed us long enough, you know that we have certain teams. We have teams assigned to the patient experience, teams assigned to the employee experience, teams assigned to nursing and making great change happen there. And Marlette has that. However, you guys formed what we refer to as the stakeholder team, and we don't refer to it, you did. And Shelley, tell me about the origins of the stakeholder team.
Well, I think the main origin or the original concept came from Dan, our CEO, and he wanted us to form a team of employees that looked at growth opportunities at our hospital. Growth opportunities along with reducing obstacles, reducing friction. Mm-hmm. Our hospital is no different, I don't think, than a lot of places in that we have a lot of great performing departments individually, but we also had silos. And so we were looking to collaboratively get a group of employees together to see how can we grow this hospital, how can we break down some barriers, all work together as a team and move us from good to great. At the same time, reaching out to different departments differently, collaborating differently, and just seeing overall growth. So it was a different concept for us in that it was looking at not just what's going on in our department, but how can our department impact how we're working with others to create growth for the hospital and in our community.
Well, and you say that word friction, and that's exactly the word that was used when I was there doing an on-site visit, and it was explained to me that this new employee team was going to form. I was confused about it, right, Michael? I gave you the wrong action plan because the CFO is on the team, so I'm like, oh, it must be a finance team,
right?
Right? The reduced friction thing was really, really confusing, but I love the concept because think about what is friction? Friction just makes it harder to do everything. And I think, the original concept of the team was, how are we going to break down barriers? How are we going to remove challenges? What are the brick walls in our way to growing our place, growing our organization, growing this community's healthcare? So, and you've really done that. So Michael, tell me about the 2 cents.
Sure. So when Shelley and I took over as co-chairs of this, it was just the beginning of this fiscal year. We were a very large group. We had so many people in the group because we had a lot of different areas to draw from. And we felt that there was so many people involved that it was really hard for us to kind of find our way. So we restructured the group to a much smaller group. We're a group of 8 now. And when we came to that 8, we wanted to figure out where we wanted to go. We had an idea based on our mission statement, what we wanted to do, but we really weren't goal orientated. We just didn't really have our way. So we decided, we created this, what we call it, a version of rounding, if you will, but we called it our 2 cents program. And we created a script for all of our members and a bunch of questions that we wanted to go out and ask all of our, well, not all of our employees, but a lot of employees, just get their general feedback on, this is what our group is designed to do, and we want to help. Can you give us some ideas that you would like for us to start to investigate and start to work on? So we went out and did that. And then with further communication with you, you're like, well, that's a really good idea. However, have you ever really thought about becoming goal oriented or goal aligned with some of MRH's goals? So that's a really good idea. So we took our hospital growth goal and we made that our focus for our group. And then from that point forward, went out and did another 2 cents program that was more centrally located towards that particular focus. And it really has been a great way of us to communicate from not only our leaders, but the people on the front lines, if you will, that are on the ground doing that work and getting their information, getting what they want us to try to work with, and even presenting with solutions on how we can move forward to help them out. So it's been a very, very nice program.
Well, and really my only thought was when I saw you, when I was trying to help you, create this action plan for the upcoming fiscal year, I was like, wow, you guys are really taking the shotgun approach, because truly you were hearing from all over the hospital everything. And I could just see it just like weighing you down and your team down. It's like, wow, there are a lot of problems to solve. There's a lot of friction going on.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to do this? Well, let's focus on one goal, razor sharp focus on one thing and align this team with it, right? And so that's what you did. And specifically, your growth goal is your outpatient departments. Narrows the focus even more, right? It narrows the focus even more. So perfect. So what you do is you interview those departments that have the top growth for a period of time, 2 departments, and the departments that have the bottom growth for a period of time. Now, the part that freaks me out a little bit about this, and you guys were all laissez-faire when we were talking about this yesterday, but I was like, wow, I love the communication. I love the transparency. How do you handle it? Shelley, when you go to a department and, because this would not go well with Jane Ann. I'd be like, you come to me and say, hey, you're on the bottom this quarter, Jane, let's talk about that. I'd be like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to suck. I don't need coaching from you, sister. You're my peer, right? So how do you guys handle that? I think that's so cool.
We really don't even necessarily discuss you're a high performing department, you're a low performing. And when we discussed this a little bit yesterday, and I don't know that this is Facebook appropriate, but I said it's kind of like somebody who's overweight. I've been overweight my whole life. I know I'm fat. Tell me. I also know that I've had a department that has not done well some years. You don't have to necessarily point that out and tell me. I'm very well aware. So it wasn't like we had to say you're a high performer, you're a low performer, because they knew. But it was scripting the questions such that for the high performers, what is going well in your department? What can other departments potentially adopt that you're doing that we can make it across the board? And in the same way, the lower performing, what are you struggling with right now? What do you think are the barriers? What can we do as a team or as a hospital to help support you, to help move your department forward and improve? So it came more from a genuine kind of caring sort of way in that we want to help everybody succeed here. And this team is really passionate about that. So how can we help move you forward without just pointing out, gosh, sis, you're not doing so well this fiscal year. And everybody had different reasons of why they were performing well or not performing well, but it was never any finger pointing. And I think that our script was nicely designed and it avoided those kind of things too. But we're just kind of very transparent, and that's a big push in our hospital of late. And we feel like there shouldn't be anything that's sugar coated or anything that is not approached just because it's working well or not working well. So people were not offended, believe it or not. And I think I also was one that would volunteer to speak to the lower performing ones because I've been there, and it was a nice reflection, or I could say, listen, I have certainly struggled with these things in the past in my department, and and would love to help you make some ground in your department. So they received it well. Maybe we're naive, but it worked.
Good, cool. So what do the top performing departments have in common? What have you found out? What are the big rocks that they have? Michael?
The one that we always kind of saw, communication was a very big component. Everybody felt that the higher succeeding departments felt that having good communication from their leader to their department, within their department, between departments, just having that openness to communicate back and forth was just a major avenue for their success. That was one of the big ones. And Shelley will tell you about the second one that we found to be.
Yeah, the second performing or kind of common theme of the top performers was the willingness and the ability to adapt and change. We found that departments that said, listen, this is how we do it. It's how we've always done it. We're not going to do it any different, struggled more so than those that were open to change, that were willing to engage their employees to let's see what we can do with this. Let's think outside of the box. We've always done it this way, but maybe it'll work better this way. So the ability to change and the openness to change was a big theme. And you could almost, like clockwork, see it amongst the higher performing versus the lower performing. So it was cool to see that there were common themes, because then that gives us some direction too.
It was month after month after month, we would see those same things pull up, and we would never allow like COVID to become the excuse for either success or why we're not doing well. There has to be other reasons. We can't do anything about that. So we did settle for that. And
there's an even playing field, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Everyone has it. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. And I tend to obviously I'm a chit chatter. So communication to me is huge, but there's so many different forms of communication, and just figuring out what works for your department, whether it's a blog, whether it's an email, whether it's, physically being there and talking and rounding and just knowing your people. That's not a blanket statement to say you need to improve communication in this form, because everybody's department has a different pulse and their means of communication is different, but just somehow keep those lines open, keep transparency on the forefront. And, everybody works harder when they know what they're working towards together, and, feels like we have a common goal and a common push. So,
you know what else I love in talking with you guys is you didn't have leaders who said, oh, right? If you did, you didn't tell me about it. But, because we always say hope is a powerful emotion, but it's not a strategy. You don't have leaders saying, well, I hope it gets better next year. Woo! But I'm not on the bottom two this year. So we don't know, but you're right. We talked about this yesterday, and I've heard this all over the partners is, there are some departments, cardiopulmonary, lab, radiology, I guess, just blowing it out of the water this year because of the pandemic. Lots of testing that they didn't account for or budget for, or, count in their growth volumes. And now they're knocking it out of the park. Well, okay, but we still have to be able to do, a CBC very well, So, Michael, did you want to talk about recognition at all?
Yeah, one of the other components that we had, we wanted to share and celebrate the departments that were doing well. One of our senior leaders one morning sent out an inspirational music video, if you will. And just the idea behind it was just, we're recognizing you, we're thinking about you. And when I was opening up the email, I was kind of expecting somebody that I knew to be congratulating or at least keep, good job. And we didn't really get that. So I kind of thought, well, I missed the mark on that. I think we can do something with it. So we took her idea and kind of made it our own. So what we do at the end of our stakeholders meeting is the group gets around in a semicircle. We put the lights on, we put the camera in front of us, and we have a nice little script that we just go out and just recognize a couple different departments, just thank them, recognize that they're doing such a great job, that we appreciate the hard work that they're putting in. We see the results that they're getting for us. And when they're succeeding, we're all succeeding. We videotape that. We actually will turn around and email that out to the department leader, as well as all of the employees within that. And we've received really, really positive feedback. It's sometimes just that simple, just note of appreciation makes the world for people. And that's definitely what we found with this. So thankfully, it's just a very simple, easy token of our appreciation that they have really responded very, very well to.
Well, and it's only because you don't have a Facebook page, Michael, that or else we'd all be able to see that, right?
And they're low tech, but they're coming from their peers and they like to get recognition from the people they work alongside.
Yeah,
Yes.
oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, like Michael said, when he opened it that day, it was heartfelt and inspirational, but it was like, oh, I want to see people I know dance the chicken or
Yep.
something.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, guys. My
you.
call to action for our fans of the framework audience is go to our website and click on our training page, because you don't want to miss our C-Suite retreat on Mackinac Island this year. It's the third week in June, and the topic is good to great to even greater. So how do hospitals like Marlette Regional, how do hospitals all over the country who have really been working hard towards greatness in their culture shift maintain that? It's kind of the opposite of good to great to gone is what we're talking about. So you don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great time. Thanks, guys. Again, I appreciate you. Congrats on your successful survey, hospice leader.
Thanks.